an individual failure or something.
No. This is really a time when senior vice presidents, top performers are being laid off because companies are afraid they'll go insolvent. It has nothing to do with you if you get laid off in this crisis.
Now, let me ask you about this. What it appears to be in the world of me and my friends in San Francisco, high-tech firms, they're not laying off. Well, everyone, we're about ready to start here. I think it's 4:29 coming up on 4:30. So I don't want to get to any super serious conversation until we know everyone has joined us. But this is a very trying time. Just a moment ago, right before we started, Julia Pollock, who's joining me here from ZipRecruiter, and I were talking about this is really a brutal time in our economy and to be looking for a job. You were putting that in you were citing some statistics for me, weren't you, Julia?
Yes. So already since this crisis struck, more than 30 million Americans have applied for unemployment insurance. We've hit the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression. We've seen the largest 1-month job loss in the United States ever. And to put it in context, the previous largest drop was 2 million jobs lost, and that was in the month that World War II ended. And now we just saw 20 million lost in 1 month. So this is just, an order of magnitude larger than any employment crisis we've seen before. And another way in which it's unprecedented is that the job losses are more broadly distributed across industries than ever before, while the job gains are more narrowly concentrated than ever before.
Okay, so that's the background. That's why ABC7 News is having this virtual job fair. We're really trying to get you put to work. This isn't kidding. We're kind of talking big numbers now, but we're going to get very specific about companies and jobs and how you're going to apply. Julia here is an expert on all of this. She's going to help us out. And then we're going to actually go through strategies and jobs that'll work for you. Now, you can ask questions anytime you want. And as a matter of fact, we have a couple right here. I'm going to get to them in a moment because I don't want to leave questions just hanging out there. But I do want to start with the fact that although we just said a lot of people are losing jobs, it's important to point out a lot of people are finding them too, right, Julia?
That is true. In every crisis, there are always companies that are hiring. And in this crisis in particular, there are companies that are expanding hiring precisely because this crisis has changed the way we are living our lives and has increased demand for certain goods and services. So, for example, e-commerce just shot up from, as a share of all retail sales from 15% last year to 25% almost overnight. And so that's creating a lot of jobs for e-commerce specialists and for all the people who need to be employed to, get goods to doors, delivery drivers, package handlers, warehouse workers. So the whole e-commerce industry is creating a huge number of jobs right now. And there are other examples too.
You had a question that you said you wanted to make sure got answered, which the question, as I remember it, is, should I quit my job now? Was that your question? Or should I wait? No, I know what your question was. You were saying people were asking you, should they wait till unemployment checks run out before they start applying for jobs? What's your answer?
My answer is that you really should start looking for work and applying for jobs now. So when there are fewer job opportunities out there overall, it can take longer to find a good match. So your job search might take longer than you expect. And so getting an early start can really help. The other issue is just that you're going to be competing against a whole lot of other job seekers by the time fall comes around and those unemployment checks run out. So get in ahead of the game, while right now there actually is not as much job seeker activity in the market as there usually is. And that's because many people can't really look for a job right now. They have to look after children because schools are closed. They have to look after family who are ill. So actually right now, there are many people who are not competing with you in the labor market who would otherwise be there.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That as bad as the job market is and the economy is right now, this is kind of a sweet spot if you're looking for jobs. It's going to get worse.
That's exactly right. And many of the employers who are hiring now are doing so because they saw this unprecedented shift in demand and they can't keep up. There are more out of stock product pages on the internet now than ever before in history. Companies are losing sales as a result, so they need to expand capacity quickly. And that's why we see the share of job postings that have language like urgent need for applicants or hiring immediately, desperate need, sort of skyrocketing.
Let me start with this question. This comes from Sandra, and she asks, where do you estimate some companies, or I should say, when do you estimate some companies will be given the green light to start hiring? She asked July, August. I've heard some companies are currently in a hold for hiring given the COVID-19 situation. Is there a bright spot out there in the future? It doesn't sound like it from what you said before.
So many employers who paused their hiring campaigns when this crisis first struck are actually now starting to turn them back on. So in the last 4 weeks, we've seen an increase each week in the number of employers who are signing up with ZipRecruiter and who are posting new jobs.
Oh, wow.
And we're even seeing some occupations increase the numbers of job postings, where I really didn't expect to see an increase yet. And that's for jobs like restaurant managers and salon managers and store custodians. It really seems as though some companies are sort of raring to go and they want to prepare for this reopening, and they're looking for the team to help them succeed.
So how do you find a job? How do you prep to find a job during this COVID virus time?
So the most important thing is to enter the labor market. Right now, that market really takes place online largely. So set up a profile, register as a job seeker on ZipRecruiter. That's the online employment marketplace I know most about, but there are others, of course. Set up a profile, write a resume. That's the first step, really. And a resume writing exercise can help you figure out what you want and what you've done, what your experience is, what your interests are. It's not just about, putting facts on paper. It's about really figuring out what you want to do and how you want to present yourself to employers. So that's step one. And then, play in that market. Look and, check job postings every day, see who's hiring, figure out what the demand is and how you can meet that demand.
I've got so much to start with. Where to go? So why don't we begin with the strategy? Because I really want to get through some particular jobs that people can hire for. And so let's do this by going through your 4-step strategies that you told me about. The first one, you say start with major companies, or at least that's one step. What are you talking about? Why is that important?
Sure. Should we pull up some slides and look for the jobs, or do you just want to talk about the strategies quickly first?
Let's talk oh, that's right. As a matter of fact, we have the one slide you have that talks about hiring. Let's go ahead and pull that one up. Let's go through that, and then we'll get to the individual jobs and the individual strategies. How's that? Okay,
I'll share my screen now. And,
okay, great.
We can talk through some of those.
By the way, who you're listening to here is Julia Pollack. She's with ZipRecruiter. I'm Michael Finney from 7 on Your Side. This is a Build a Better Bay Area project with ABC7 News. We're trying to get people jobs. This is a virtual job share that you've just tuned into, and we're hoping to get you work. So, Julia, tell me about the screen we're looking at right here. Let's start at the left.
All right, so here are just 5 key elements of a successful job search. The first is fill out that resume, make it accurate, make sure you don't have any spelling errors or grammatical errors, make sure that you have listed all of your prior employment experiences, your skills. We have 3 templates available on our website for you to follow. It's really important that you have a logical, sort of generic resume that can be read by a computer. Don't get too fancy. Make sure it's there. Of course, customize that opening objective paragraph. That shows who you are, what kind of job you're looking for. But otherwise, keep it straight and simple. Don't get too fancy.
Right.
Otherwise,
okay.
You'll be able to read it, and it'll be turned into gibberish on the other end.
Okay. Number two,
a
complete job seeker profile. What do you mean by that?
So we've done a couple of experiments, and we've found that when job seekers list 2 or more past employment experiences, the chance of an employer calling them back is much, much, much higher than if they only list 1, for example. So fill out each field that we ask you to fill out, and make sure that you provide as complete a picture as possible. That also helps because we help you autofill, job applications. So once you do that step right, everything else follows, and you can apply to many jobs after that with just 1 click.
The step number 3, you hit on it a little bit. Let's dig in a little deeper. Networking through family and friends, and you're really underlining family now.
Yes, let it be known that you are looking for work. Many people don't do this, but people around them, their friends, their family, can often hear about opportunities. And there's nothing that can help you more in your job search than when someone at a company says, "Hey, I've got a friend who'd be a perfect fit." If a hiring manager is looking at 20 applications on their table and they don't know anything about these people, these are all strangers, but someone comes in the door and says, "I know this person, they're reliable, they're honest, they're trustworthy, they're great," that really, really goes a long way.
You say research the company. How do you go about that? I guess go online. I mean, there's Glass Ceiling. There's a lot of places to look now, correct?
Well, nowadays, you can find out almost anything about anybody. You can see the company's earnings reports in the newspaper. You could read their financial filings. You can, just Google or go on Facebook and say, hey, does anyone work here? What is it like? You can find out a lot of information about companies. And, the first thing to do is just read their website. What is their mission statement? What is their goal? If you understand what they're trying to achieve and what their problems are, then you can suggest solutions and you can show how you will be part of their growth and a part of their mission.
Oh, that's smart. Let's talk about timely applications and follow-up. I'm blown away how few people will bother to send an email after they've been interviewed just to say, hey, thanks a lot. Is there anything else you need to know? And people don't even do that, do they?
It's true, and it really can make the difference. But the most important thing with timing is to apply to jobs early. So if you join ZipRecruiter and you sign up for email alerts, we will let you know when a job is posted that matches your skills and is in your area. Once it is posted, most hiring managers only look at the applications they receive within the first week or two. So you really need to pounce on jobs that match your skills and interests quickly. Don't think, oh, I need to, make my resume perfect. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. You may have lost the opportunity, especially in a job market that's going to become increasingly competitive.
So, Julia, let's drop this slide, put you back up on the screen, because I want to reintroduce who you are for those that are just tuning in. This is Julia Pollock. She's an expert from ZipRecruiter. ABC7 News has partnered with ZipRecruiter to do this virtual job fair. We're actually hoping to get you a job. We're not just talking big issues here. Julia is an expert, and you can ask us a question at any time about anything in terms of looking for a job or finding new employment. Julia has put together 4 strategies for looking for jobs, which I thought was brilliant. The first one on the list is look with major companies. I'll let you put up that slide and then talk us through why you're looking at major companies, and then let's go through some potential jobs.
Sure. So the reason I'm suggesting that you could start your search by looking at household names of big American companies is that they really are sort of one-stop shops for jobs. They are always hiring for a range of roles, from delivery drivers to data scientists. And, when you employ 2.2 million people like Walmart does, there are always people quitting. There are always people going on maternity leave. There are always people retiring. And so they're always hiring.
Wow. Okay. And they're hiring a wide range of people, right? Like, from a beginner to someone who's got very specific vice presidential skills, I would assume.
Yes, they are. And the other thing about large companies is that they have, multiple locations across the country. So there's a good chance you'll find one near you.
Right. Yeah.
And then they're established, organized, professional. They tend to conduct hiring and onboarding by the book. They're more transparent, especially publicly held companies are very, transparent. They have to be. And so especially in a time of risk and uncertainty, it might be nice to have the transparency and predictability and professionalism of a big company. So let's go through a couple of the jobs that you searched for in this category.
Cashier, right I think that's what we all think of when we think of Walmart, right?
Right. So at Walmart, they're always hiring cashiers and cart attendants. But there are also jobs, especially in the Bay Area, for data scientists and senior managers of data engineering and software engineering.
Look at that.
Yeah, they're a huge tech operation, Walmart. They have lots of jobs for cybersecurity experts, IT experts, user experience designers, technologists working on the latest, robotic store assistants and inventory trackers, and so there are lots and lots of jobs. This is the largest employer in America, and they're always hiring.
And it's nice to go somewhere where they're hiring rather than hope they're hiring.
Exactly.
So this one here, data scientist, and now we're moving on to retail sales principal. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's really a wide range of jobs.
Very wide range. The next company I'm highlighting here is CVS, another company with 9,900 stores, locations across the country, workers in every state in the nation. And the job I'm going to highlight is actually the bottom one on the slide here, a pharmacy technician. Pharmacy technician jobs are growing more quickly than average. There are going to be a lot of jobs added in this occupation over the next decade. And this is a job which you don't need a college degree. It takes only 4 to 6 weeks to become a licensed pharmacy technician.
Oh.
If you got laid off from a restaurant or a hotel, this might be a perfect chance to invest in a training program and do some reskilling.
Let me jump in here with a question we just received from Karen. She asked, what is the best way for someone to find a job that they can do and still stay at home? I think a lot of people are wondering about that right now. She says that her youngest daughter has a 4-month-old daughter. So her daughter has a daughter and just lost her job this week. Oh, my goodness. It's horrible. Karen asked a question a lot of people are wondering. Do you ask that?
Right. So, typically, before this crisis, only 2% of job postings explicitly said that the jobs offered you the opportunity to work from home. Now, that's more than 10%. So we've seen a 5-fold increase due to the crisis. A lot of employers are hiring people to work from home. And many other job postings say that you can work from home initially. But there's good news there. Once you prove to an employer that you're very productive and responsive while working at home, you may be able to turn that work from home job into a permanent work from home opportunity. So if working from home works for you, say you're a semi-retiree, or you have a disability or a health condition that makes it better for you to be at home, or you have children to look after, this actually may be a great opportunity for you to get a job on work from home conditions that wouldn't have applied normally, and show the employer that you're responsible enough to do that well.
If you're just tuning in right now to either Facebook Live, YouTube, or ABC7news.com, this is ABC7's virtual job fair. We've partnered with ZipRecruiter. This is Julia Pollack. She's an expert. She's given us some great advice here. We'll take any question you have. Just send it in through social media. We'll find it and we'll talk about it. Easiest if through Facebook. Julia, let's do your second strategy. You say jobs that they need to fill now, right?
Yes. So one thing I like doing on ZipRecruiter is, my apologies. Yikes.
No, that's fine.
How did that happen?
We were just talking about CVS, and one of the things, while you're fighting the next one, I'll explain what you were saying about CVS. She was saying CVS has these pharmacist technician jobs, which are needed, pretty well paid, and it takes about 4 weeks training. So it's something to think about if you need a job quickly. So what's going on with the urgent need? Are you still figuring that out?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you work on that. I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I just didn't want to waste your time.
No.
If you're tuning in right now, again, this is ABC7's virtual job fair. We are working very hard to get you a job. We're trying to build a better Bay Area today, one job at a time. So we're going through very specific jobs you can get and the strategies in order to get them. So we've got strategy 2 up there. I'll let you take it, Julia.
Sure. So you can search for terms, keywords. You don't need to just search for job titles on ZipRecruiter. You can search for terms like urgent. You can also search for jobs by the date when they were posted. So I like to search for jobs added in the last day or the last 5 days or the last 10 days, especially in a competitive labor market. So here are some examples. And one great thing about searching for jobs by time is that you'll find jobs and companies that you have never heard of before.
Yeah.
Here's a company that has verified to ZipRecruiter that they are actively hiring during COVID. They have said that their demand is urgent, and they, offer benefits and pretty attractive compensation. And here's a company that recycles precious metal scrap from the dental industry.
Wow.
You never heard of before.
Right. That's a unique job. Let's look at another job or two that is in this, right away we need somebody.
Exactly. So another job another occupation where we're seeing really huge demand is for certified nursing assistants, especially in long-term care facilities. This is a job that you can get with 6 to 12 months of training. You don't need a college degree. And it has really great long-term growth prospects. This is one of the jobs projected to add the largest numbers of jobs of employees over the next decade. And
even with the hospitals having issues right now, we keep hearing that they have some financial issues, but I guess you're going to need certified nurse assistant, whether you need them today or in 9 months from now, right?
Right. So hospitals are usually recession-proof. They're not pandemic-proof, though, so they are. Oh. But those are probably the kinds of jobs that will bounce back fastest. Because the forces that were causing healthcare employment to grow so rapidly are still there. We have an aging population, growing population, increased rates of chronic diseases. So long-term care facilities and hospitals will, keep hiring.
What other jobs do we have in this category?
So Kaiser Permanente is the largest managed care organization in the United States. It's also always hiring, and here they have an urgent need for a labor and delivery nurse. Some manufacturing companies have an urgent need for technicians and installers. And for office, assistants and bookkeepers and administrative assistants.
Now, that's one of those jobs you could do at home that Karen was asking us about, I'll bet.
Right. So some of them explicitly tell you that you can, and we'll get to a few of those a bit later.
Okay, let's do the futuristic jobs at growing startups. There it is. Tell me, why is this a good strategy?
Well, it is fun to work at a company that's solving big problems, that is doing something bold, innovative. And if you're going to be a receptionist, or you're going to be a janitor, or you're going to be an accountant, you could do that anywhere. You could do that at a school. You could do that at the company that's going to be the next big thing that's going to change the world. And so
let's look at a couple of those jobs.
Sure. There are some very exciting ones. I like searching by keyword for terms like growing startup, innovative company, venture capital backed, companies that have investors behind them who think that they're onto something great. Yeah, so right. Here's one example: a company that allows you to broadcast your podcast over the web. That's a remote position.
Says remote right on it. That's amazing. Engineering. Again, a lot of engineers already work remote. They have for years.
Exactly. And, many engineers have been laid off in this crisis. This crisis has hit white-collar workers and tech companies due to declining advertising spending. So there are many who are looking for work, and there are also many opportunities, especially in these new growing companies. Another job I've chosen to highlight is with GM Cruise. So this is an autonomous vehicle company with Honda GM, partnership behind it. They have a fleet of autonomous cars, and if you want to be involved in a really complicated, difficult problem that people are trying to solve that could help save lives and reshape cities, and give you back your garage space and driveway for more productive purposes, maybe think about joining one of those companies. Another benefit to working in tech is that the benefits can be great. I pulled this out to show you. They have a monthly wellness stipend and commuter benefit.
Wow. Yeah.
Healthy snacks and chefs. So it can be a lot of fun to work in a tech company where you can wear your sneakers and bring your dog to work.
Show me one more job in this sector under this strategy, I should say.
So here's another one. Here's another autonomous vehicle company that creates self-driving trucks. Here is a company that is founded by the former VC of the Apple Store. He's trying to revolutionize retail for tech products. So you can order tech products online and have someone come to your home to help you with setup and installation.
And this is right there in Burlingame. A lot of the jobs you've selected, of course, have been here in the Bay Area, but that one's in Burlingame, right in the middle of the Silicon Valley, really. I got another question. I'll go ahead and send it to you your way. It was from Nancy, and basically she was asking, are there opportunities for the mature person?
Yes. This is a difficult topic. So when job openings decline and there are fewer opportunities out there, employers do often become pickier, and that can hurt the youngest job seekers because employers often add to their skills wish lists. So they often look for more experienced workers whom they can snap up on the cheap. So yes, there could be more opportunities out there for you if you highlight your skills and experience. You might want to do that by saying things like more than 12 years experience rather than more than 35 years experience.
Right. Play up what not that something they may not want. I've got a couple more questions, but I want to go ahead. Let's get to your fourth jobs and growing occupations. We're running out of time. I want to get to these other couple of questions, but explain why this is a good strategy.
Sure. So especially now during a recession, you may want to go for the most recession-proof industries and occupations with the best long-term growth prospects so that you don't find yourself in this situation again. And, the Bureau of Labor Statistics comes up with projections each year of which jobs are growing the fastest. You can look at the lists on their website. Most of them are in healthcare, personal care aides, home health aides, nurses. Some of them are also in tech, like software developers, computer user support specialists, and information security specialists.
Julia, I'm going to jump in.
Jobs are out there. The other thing to do, though, is join a tech company that is producing distance learning tools. So
there's a growth area right now, isn't it?
Exactly. There is enormous demand for stimulating, exciting, interesting learning tools online and apps for kids.
I've got a college student here. His name is Matthew, and he says he's looking for internships and was wondering if you had any advice or tips. Is that different than looking for a job? How?
So internships actually fell far faster than job openings overall.
Wow.
Many companies have canceled or paused their internship programs because, part of the internship experience is being in the office and having a mentor and being, shown the ropes. So, this is a very tough time for college graduates. They are graduating into an extremely tough and competitive job market where employers are increasingly going to be able to, choose the most experienced and highest quality candidates, and so you need to sell yourself in a different way. There's nothing that does better in a job interview than signaling real enthusiasm, readiness to work, reliability, and grit, and job seekers may have to just try to show, what they can do rather than what they have done. And there are all kinds of ways to gain skills and experience. This may be a good time for you to invest in your skills by taking online courses, taking certifications that can help you get one of these fast-growing jobs, like information security, IT certifications, healthcare certifications. Some of those programs can be done in a few days or weeks. You can get a drone license after studying for about 15 to 20 hours, and there are very exciting job opportunities over the horizon in the drone industry.
So we need to wrap up because we're running out of time. And Don just asked the perfect last question, which is, where can I find all of these resources?
Great. So on ZipRecruiter.com, right at the top of our blog, ZipRecruiter.com/blog, we have a page called COVID Resources, where we have tips and tricks for how to land a job right now. And if you go to our site, ZipRecruiter.com/ABC7, there is a virtual job fair for you, and you can search for any of the jobs that we've mentioned.
Julia Pollack, ZipRecruiter, we really appreciate your time, all your advice, all your knowledge, and everything you're doing trying to get people back to work. So thank you very much for spending time with us today, and perhaps we'll get together again soon.
Good talking with you. Take care.
Nice talking to you. If anybody else has any questions, leave them. What I can answer, I will. What I can't, we'll pass on to Julia. So this stream is over, but the conversation is not. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.